All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be reviewing some highlights from Matt Walsh on the Joe Rogan podcast. He was on there a few days ago and they talked about what is a woman, marriage, a lot of things. And we're about to get into it right now. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe while we get into this. Now let's get into it.
But I wanted to play this one moment in particular that was interesting. In my biased opinion, in my humble opinion, I thought this was an interesting moment. When we talked about the ways that narcissism drives gender ideology. And this is a point that Joe Rogan brought up and made, and then I, said my piece, and here's that.
You're giving them an opportunity to be special and to get special treatment without any special act. They haven't done anything that warrants that unique behavior.
Yeah, I think that's a really important point. I think that's actually so much of this that and people don't notice it, but a lot of this is just standard narcissism.
Yes.
Especially you listen to these, why is this so common among celebrities now? All the celebrities have trans kids and they're coming out as non-binary and whatever else. And then you listen to them like Demi Lovato or whoever, and you listen to them explain why they're they them. It's always, well, I don't identify with these labels. I'm beyond that. I'm above that. It's like these labels were good enough for billions of humans before you, but it's not good enough for you. You can't find yourself there.
Yo, that's a good point. That's a good point. I don't think I've ever heard anyone explain it quite like that. These labels have been good enough for billions of people from generations, time ago. Everyone else has been able to find themselves within these two labels. Even people that were, gay or cross-dressers, they were able to find themselves within male, female. But now in today's current day, there are people claiming that they're so special that they can't identify themselves within those two realms, and they got to make up 100 genders, all because they feel like they're different. Great, I like the way he explained that. That was dope.
But all these other billions of human beings, it was fine. They had no problem. But you're so special that we need to change the rules of the English language for you specifically. It's incredibly egotistical.
It's bizarre. It's like if you feel that you're different than everyone else, you're still a female. You're just a different human being who happens to be a female. If you're so unique, go prove it with your actions. Prove it with your work. Prove it out there in the world. But to demand this very special attention.
And like he said, it's only for existing and being quote unquote different. That's the only reason why they demand all this. It's just for existing. And that's not how it works. You don't get rewarded. You shouldn't get rewarded for existing. We all exist. You got to go out and do something. Like Joe Rogan just said, if you really are so different. But these people are not different. They're just narcissistic. The world revolves around them. They think the world revolves around them.
And that's what we give people. Like, if you give people that thing today, they'll tell, there's groups of people that will tell you, you're amazing, you're incredible, you're beautiful, you're brave. It gives them positive affirmation for making these decisions.
It's also part of what you're describing is personality, right? I mean, so if you're saying, oh, I'm a female, but I don't identify with girly things and I don't like the color pink and whatever. Okay, that's your personality, and it's fine. There are many ways to be a woman. There are many ways to be a man. There's like almost infinite ways of doing it because each man and woman has their own personality, their own perspective of the world, and that's fine. So I think that what I'm expressing is more the kind of traditional idea is much more expansive because it allows you as a man to just be who you are. You're still a man, but be who you are. The idea now is that if you're a man, but you have interests or ideas that fall outside of the standard norm, now you lose your manhood. You're actually a woman. So they're actually reinforcing the gender binary while trying to destroy it at the same time, which is interesting.
Yeah, man, Matt Walsh is killing it with the points that he's making. But yeah, I mean, there is no one specific definition for a man or masculinity, I suppose. Like, or a better way to say what I meant to say is that it comes in different shapes and sizes. It comes with different interests and perspectives. Like he just said, every man is not interested in only sports and drinking beer and going to the gym or whatever. Some people got different interests, but just because your difference don't fall in line with what's traditionally masculine, that don't make you no less of a man. But unfortunately, you have people who trying to feed it. You're trying to feed it to people that makes you less of a man. You might be non-binary. You might be this. You might be that. And next thing you know, you end up getting something chopped off.
Interesting. But I think most of what they're trying to describe is actually just personality. Yeah. And now we have this situation where, you could have a person who has 5 different genders and 6 sexual orientations, but no personality, because their personality has been subsumed by all of these labels. They've categorized and labeled and everything, and it's really strange. This is really good to hear. I'm not talking about my part. That was really good to hear from me. It's good. I can't emphasize enough how great it is to hear from somebody like Joe Rogan with his audience. Now, I could go out there and make the case and talk about these things, and I will, and I do, and I hope that I can have some effect. But
I gotta get a Sweet Baby Gang mug.
Joe Rogan, who the left has tried to sort of brand him as this right-wing extremist fundamentalist, which of course couldn't be further from the truth, as we'll see in the next clip we're going to play. But that's obviously not who he is and what he is, and he has he's like a mainstream guy in a lot of ways, and he has a mainstream audience. And here he is identifying the truth, which is that gender ideology is rooted in narcissism, is rooted in self-obsession, and a lot of it is born from this desire that people have to not be like everybody else. To just be kind of a normal person seems boring, and it's beneath them, and so it's their vanity that says that no, because you only have access to your own inner experience. Obviously, you don't have access to anybody else's. Mm-hmm. And so if you have your inner experience and you just assume, so if you're a man having an inner experience, like how could you even say that, well, this is not the inner experience that a man is supposed to have? How do you know that? You're a man and this is your inner experience. And so, and you've only ever experienced the inner experience of one man, which is yourself. So how do you know? What are you comparing it to? I think a lot of it, there's mental illness wrapped up in this as well. There are other factors, but in many cases, especially with the older people, especially with celebrities, as we said, it's just the assumption. It's the vanity-based assumption that whatever they're feeling must be more profound, must be very different from what other people experience. And so they can't make do with the labels that billions of people before them have made do with.
Yeah, I mean, and to put that in even smaller words, they think that they're so special that they deserve all this attention. It's just it really is just narcissism. You could sum it up simple as that. They think that they're so special. They think that what they're feeling is so special. It's just narcissism. That's it. Keep it simple. That's what it is. I'm going to skip forward a little bit because they're about to get into the next clip. I'm going to let them explain it a bit, though. In
order to get along and seem cool in front of the new audience. So obviously I wasn't going to do that. The goal then is to try to calmly lay out a defense of marriage in a clear and simple and firm way. That's what I attempted to do anyway. And we'll play this clip. It's kind of long. It's about 3 minutes. As I said, this is from an 80-minute back and forth on this topic that took up basically the second half of the podcast. And you can go and watch the whole thing if you want. But I think this gives us a pretty good taste of what it was. Let's watch it.
What, if any, negative aspects would there be to people doing that if they're gay?
Well, the issue is that from my perspective and from the perspective of most human societies that have existed in history, is that marriage is the context in which the procreative union occurs. Marriage is the foundation for the family. Mm-hmm. It's something that is reserved for that because the male-female union has this capacity to create life, whereas no other union has that capacity. And so it is a different kind of thing. And it makes sense to call it something different. It's like if human society were to collapse overnight and we all woke up with an amnesia and didn't remember anything about what happened before, and we're rebuilding society from scratch, and we look around And we see that, oh, there are some couplings over here that have this weird habit of creating people, and there are other couplings where there are no people being created. We would probably call that something different. It's a different kind of thing. It's also more important to society. Like, society needs that. You're going to keep society going because you're creating people.
I was trying to figure out get where he was going, but yeah, I get it. He's basically saying that there's a difference. It's a difference, you know, when gay people get married versus when heterosexual people get married, because that heterosexual union has the capacity to bring in new life to the world, whereas the homosexual union does not. You know, they could like surrogate or adopt or do things like that, which is cool. You know, I think you know, if it's kids that need to be adopted, you know, they need a loving home too. But they can't bring no life into the world. It's like, so from a procreative standpoint, what is the point of marriage if you're not bringing in life and like really creating this family? I don't know.
Society going because you're creating people. And that's what marriage was. It was the context for that procreative union.
But what about gay couples who get surrogate parents to carry their children, or who adopt children? That's very common.
Yeah, it's common, but that's not the union itself is not creating the child.
But it's a man-made institution. We've decided that we should involve the law and to join a male and a female who create a family.
But I would even argue, kind of like Matt Walsh is saying, that it might be man-made, but it was created for heterosexual, for a heterosexual union. It was created for a man and a woman to come together, have a family, do it the right way under God. That's what marriage is about. It was created for men and women. We've adapted it, amended it, and included homosexuals, but that wasn't who it was originally made for.
Like, why would that be mutually exclusive? Why would that not apply to a gay couple?
Well, again, part of it is it's a matter of definitions. So it's a little bit like the what is a woman question. It's like what is marriage? I mean,
But doesn't that seem like an easier one? Like, two people who love each other. This is my life partner. This is the person I want to be with to the day I die. Let's get married. Everybody is happy. Everybody celebrates.
Why just two people? Why just two people?
Well, I don't know. Why only two people with heterosexuals? Because that's not always the case.
Well, because only two people can create another person,
No, you can have another person involved, and they can have your kid too. I mean, isn't that what the Mormons did?
Yeah, but only two people can actually create
two people at a time.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that's one of the reasons why I would also, if we want to call it heterosexual polygamy, I'm not a proponent of that, because, when two people create another person, the child that they've created now needs and deserves and has a right to be raised in a stable environment with a mom and a dad who are living together in the house. That's what we should endeavor as a society to provide every child. And children need both. A child needs a mom and a dad. Going online without ExpressVPN, it's like...
All right, guys, so that he just segued into his ExpressVPN ad. I'm going to end it right there, but I will leave it in the description so you can go see it yourself. If you want to see the original him and Joe Rogan full, 2-3 hour long sit down, you got to go to Spotify to watch that. But Joe Rogan has clips on his YouTube page. So just type in Matt Walsh, Joe Rogan. It'll pop up, and you can see all of this yourself. But that's it for the reaction, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe on your way out the door. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.